Hi, I'm Kerry Healy, Chief Commercial Officer of Accor, based here in Dubai for our premium mid-scale and economy brands at Accor.
Kerry, thanks for joining Breaking Travel News here at Arabian Travel Market. First of all, just sort of give us a little bit of an update on the business in the region.
We've had a really strong Q1, and those results are now public, so we're very happy with that. And interestingly, that performance was driven by ADR uplift, which is really nice to see. So being able to hold that rate for the brands. Very happy with the Q1 performance. Pipeline is growing, adding new brands into the region. So you're going to start to see some more of our brands creeping into this part of the world. Lots to look forward to.
Let's dig into that a little bit more. So tell us a little bit about the brands that you're looking to bring to the region.
So we're clearly always very focused on our iconic brands, and by that I mean our Pullman brand, our Novotel brand, and our Ibis brand. And probably because they represent so much of the room's revenue, not just here in the Middle East, but in the broader APAC region and indeed the globe. But bringing brands in like Handwritten, which is a collections brand. So if you're familiar with our M Gallery brand that's in the premium space, Handwritten is our collections brand in the mid-scale space, but also the Mantis brand, which was the sort of brainchild and born and raised in Africa. You start to see that coming into Saudi, into Ras Al Khaimah. So super exciting, and that's very much around eco-tourism. But again, something new, something fresh. And also the Tribe brand doing really nicely in this part of the world. So very much it's a lifestyle, it's fun. Sitting in the mid-scale space as well, but a point of difference for our owners. We have a lot of luck here and a lot of traction on conversion brands as well, and Mercure is one of those brands, and I think that works so well in this part of the world because each of the part of the region is so different, and that's in the Mercure DNA that you get to play with the local heritage. So it resonates well with owners, and we're having a lot of fun developing that brand as well. I think another trend that you see, and it's reflected in the pipeline, is the extended stay. So you're starting to see Swissôtel living, Novotel living. So it's us playing with that brand and making a little bit more purpose fit for extended stay model. So it's exciting.
When you've got such a kind of an incredible portfolio of brands to, as you say, play with, right?
It is a game.
Yeah, I mean, tell me a little bit about sort of that process and what thinking kind of goes into that.
Huge amounts of thinking, and I think if you step back in Accor's history, so go back about 2.5-3 years when Sebastian Bazin announced that we would be separating the two divisions, right? We'd have very much a dedicated luxury team and a lifestyle team, and then we would create these mega regions of what we call premium, mid-scale and economy, right? So it's the 17 brands that fall into that part of the brand portfolio. What it allowed us to do, it was a moment of reflection. Brands matter, right? Scale also matters in the game that we're in, but each brand having a strong DNA, building, refreshing that brand platform is just as important for an Ibis as it is for the Raffles. It might have a different marketing campaign, it'll have different rules and different standards, but it's so important that those individual brands stand for something. We need to build that brand love. We're quite sophisticated. We track this in every market against the competition. What does the consumer in the UAE or in Sydney or in Istanbul think about the Ibis or think about the Novotel? We know which attributes we do better or worse. So you're tracking all this data and using that as the basis of how you go forward. So brand culture, refresh. Brand standards, refresh. Fundamentals, get the foundations right. Then understand who your customer is, who your competition is, and where you need to show up for that customer in the full journey, right? Because we're also looking at building the brand relevance through the inspiration stage, through to the stay, and then the post-stay. So it's actually really exciting. It's a bit geeky, it's based on data, but the fun starts, then you have the fun, right? Because then you start creating,
you're building from a strong base.
That's right, but also then you think about, if the modern traveller is also looking for value-based travel and experience-led travel, then what partnerships do these brands need to have that help build the brand story? So the Novotel partnership with WWF, very much about the health of the ocean. So you'll start to see that creep into a lot more of what we talk about with the brand. But it also says to the customers it stands for something. It's going to be very clear about that. So a lot of exciting things to look forward to in the next, I would say, 6 to 12 months when it comes to how we articulate those brands. And I mean that in how we market them, but also even in a little bit of directional change in how we might talk about those brands. Because let's be honest, some of those brands have been around for 50, 60 years. And I mean, we can't give them Botox, they need to stay relevant. So I think that's what we're trying to do. We're giving them a refresh, right? I mean, make sure that they are going to have as much relevance as they've had in the last 50 years for the next generation of travelers. That's what it's all about. And it's exciting. Yeah.
It sounds it, and I'm going to geek out on that myself, right? It sounds like you have a great role there. Tell me a little bit about the role of technology in all of this.
So I think it plays a couple of parts. So I'm going to stick to maybe the tech stack, so our distribution ecosystem, and I think the role of AI playing in that. So I'm talking about tools like Movable Ink, Phrasee, just to mention a few. And these are so we use Salesforce globally and Adobe, but these particular tools allow us within the CRM element is when to contact you, right? When to contact you, how to contact you, how to contact you with a personal tone of voice. Only present you what you're really interested in based on what we're capturing about you. Phrasee is one step further. It helps us with the subject lines. So what do you're going to respond to something very differently to me, like presumably, right? So it's changing and adapting which tagline we use for you in real time. It's looking at the interactions and what someone is clicking on and working on. And if we don't like the results, it's real time changing. So I think, and of course, if we were here with my head of e-commerce, he'll also tell you that his team have got 3 digital AI CRM team players now, which is crazy. They're named, they're trained, they have an Accor tone of voice, they know the brands. And they're doing the heavy lifting. So what used to take us maybe 5 weeks to pull together a full ICP plan is happening like this, which means it's more fun for the team to work on the things they really love doing, but not filling in horrible forms and checking and ticking boxes. So freedom, automation, more time to do what's really important, faster, quicker insights, actions, things that we probably, as a human, we wouldn't maybe pick up. And I think we're only just getting started there. I think our BI team, business intelligence team, is also taking what used to be all these like cumbersome Excel spreadsheets. You'd have to pore over them, spot the trend, respond to the trend. I mean, who wants to do that? So that's all being moved into sort of what I would call forward-looking business intelligence insight dashboards. So the person who's using it it's already been analysed. And I think we'll go one step further. I think that in the next sort of 6 to 12 months, we'll be having a BI digital assistant that will actually be doing that and saying, hey, Kerry, you might want to have a look at the following market. So it's exciting.
That is tremendously exciting. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to that conversation. Oh, absolutely. I'm with you all the way.
Yeah.
Last question for me, really, I suppose, is around the human capital side of the business and the speed with which the world's changing at the moment. You've been big advocates of training and development from a personal, professional kind of perspective. Tell me more about that.
So I think we're still big advocates for it. Right? We still believe in it, but it's trying to take the in-house environment, but also the digital environment. So we're doing a lot more in a digital format. We also use a company called ATM, and it's a app on your phone, and it's behavioural learning. So it takes a lot of the core content that we need to train in: brand, loyalty, sales topics, e-commerce topics, and it breaks it down into gamified 5-minute bite-sized learning chunks. There's leaderboards, there's prizes. I can reward teams. We can recognize people. But yeah, so for sure, we're still there. It's just keeping up with that change, right?
And how you make it happen? How you utilize? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a bit like deploying ideas. It's like you've got to make sure you also have the right person in the right seat at the right time. You're not going to give the keys to the brand new Jag to your 15-year-old son or daughter, right? But so that's the challenge as well. And we're having to upskill who sits in the roles, because if you want to be successful on a property now, like, you need to have a digital marketing background. It's all about content being king and how you're applying your social strategy across the channels. So I think it's changing also who we attract into the industry as well.
Probably a good thing.
Yeah, indeed.
I'd love to talk more, but I'm very conscious that you're a very, very busy woman. Thank you for your time today.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.